calling you Ms. Worley, do you have a rank?
I'm a senior criminalist.
But not lieutenant or captain or
No.
senior?
Criminalist.
And what is a criminalist? Criminalist.
I'm in the lab, basically.
I'm sorry?
I'm based in the lab, the forensic lab.
But you went out to this crime scene?
I did, yes.
Do you normally go out to crime scenes?
At that time, yes, I was a special agent.
You were what?
I was a special agent at the time that I worked this, yes.
Okay. And a special agent is, what's so special about the special agent?
That's what SLED agents are referred to as.
Okay. Beg the court's indulgence for one moment. So, talk a little bit about what you did on this case. And I'm going to try not to repeat a lot of the testimony from our scintillating Friday afternoon together. When did you first go to the scene?
I responded as soon as I got the phone call at 10:33 p.m. I got on the road from my house within 30 minutes and arrived on scene at 12:07 a.m.
12:07 a.m.
Yes.
Now, when you got there, the Carlton County Sheriff's Department, were they supposed to process the scene?
No.
What they were supposed to do?
Secure it.
Secure it so nobody could walk over things and nobody could in any way disturb trace evidence, forensic evidence. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Now, when you got there, did you determine they had done more than just secure the scene?
They had marked some evidence that they had found before we got there.
And you also found, for instance, that we've shown you videos that they actually, some of them, or at least one of them, if not two of them, walked into the feed room where Paul was killed, correct?
Someone did to place a marker 1 in this.
I'm sorry?
Someone had walked in there to place marker 1.
And matter of fact, when you did your footwear impression examination, you found that there was a bloody footprint caused by one of the officers. Isn't that right?
After we had started processing the scene, yes.
Yes, but I mean, one of the bloody footprints in that feed room was not Paul, not the perpetrator. It was a police officer.
Yes.
Probably a Carlton County police officer.
I don't know that for sure.
Who else could it be?
It could have been one of us from
One
SLED.
of yours?
I don't think it was mine, but it could have been from SLED. I don't know.
It could have been SLED, could have been Carlton County, could have been the coroner.
Yeah, sure.
But, I mean, and in your business, there are rules about who should be walking through crime scenes, right?
Yeah. Preferably as few people as possible. If you don't need to be in there, then you shouldn't be in there.
And when they, went around and pulled the sheet up, they were walking in an area where most likely the perpetrator had walked, correct?
Possibly, yes.
I mean, that's right outside the feed room.
Right.
And those shell casings that were near, or some of them were near, some of them were further away from Maggie's body, walking in the dark increases the probability that some trace evidence has been disturbed or destroyed.
That's probably why they went ahead and marked evidence before we got there, because they found it and went ahead and marked it so that it wouldn't be disturbed.
But couldn't they just stood back and said, there's shell casings in there, so when you got there, you would have been, maybe you would have even waited till the next morning when you had some light, right?
No, we would have started like we did as soon as we got on scene.
Okay. Well, you did some measurements.
Yes.
And those measurements are recorded on a sketch you did.
Yes.
Not to scale.
Right.
And make sure. Okay, that's my stuff. Yeah, that's my stuff. Oh, okay. These are all the exhibits, state and defense? Where are the state exhibits? Okay. Okay. So let's look at
you need more time before proceeding,
Well, I'm just trying to,
do you need more time?
no, sir, I'm ready. Let me see if she can identify this. Can you tell me what that is, please?
This is my final crime scene diagram.
Okay, and you did it.
I did.
You can identify it.
Yes.
Your Honor, we would offer this document into evidence, please. It's her crime scene.
What number would that be for the defense?
4.
Any objection? Submitted without objection.
Okay, so can you put Worley number 1 up, please? Okay, and you can see that on your screen?
Yes, sir.
And that is what I just showed you, right?
Yes, sir.
And what's important to note at the outset is this is not to scale, correct?
We never do our diagrams to scale now.
Okay, but it does tell us some things.
Yes.
You found a projectile that went through the doghouse,
That's right.
and you found a projectile that went through the small animal cage.
We didn't locate that projectile, but one did go
But
through.
you had an entrance and exit wound.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
And now these yellow items over here near Maggie's body, those represent blackout ejected shells.
Yes, those are the evidence markers marking 300 blackout.
Okay, and did you take measurements of where those were compared to anything else? For instance, we see a 23.9 between this post and that post. Did you do anything like that for the projectiles?
I don't believe I did the doghouse because it was inside the bedding of the doghouse.
I'm sorry, what now?
We didn't measure the projectile that was in the dog bed.
No, I'm talking about these yellow.
Yes.
Okay, did you measure where they were?
Yes.
And there are measurements somewhere?
I believe on the second page of the second page of my diagram should be the measurements.
Let me go to page 2. Do you have your report with you?
I do.
Do you have that page 2? I want to make sure I'm referring to the right one. Page 2 of 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, and when it says you've measured them RP1, RP2, what does that mean?
That's reference point. So this corner of the feed room was reference point 1. This column was reference point 2, and this column was reference point 3.
Okay, can you find page 2 for me, please? Okay, well, I'll come back and show this on the Elmo in a little while. Do we have a copy of it? Not yet. What I'd like to do is, let me give you yours back and ask you what I do with it. Here it is. Is that what we were just looking at?
Yes.
And are these your calculations?
They are.
And this is what you recorded?
Yes.
Any objection?
No.
I'm sorry?
No objection.
No objection, okay. Your Honor, I'd like to offer this into evidence. I think it's defense 5.
Submit it.
We'll go back and look at that again in a minute. And so, could I have Roy number 1 up? Okay, so you located these shell casings, right?
Right.
You did measurements of how far the small animal cage was from a reference point?
Yes.
And how far did you, what was the reference point for the doghouse?
I'm not sure that I measured the doghouse to a reference point.
You did not measure the doghouse.
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's get a little more